But to look your enemy in the eye, knowing you'll remember his face for the rest of your life, now that takes a stomach much stronger than you'll ever have.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Girl Gaming. Today we're going to be looking at doing some building in Epoch, which should be quite fun. Joining me is Yip, who owns this server. Hello Yip.
Hello there.
And Yip's very kindly donated some materials to me so I can do this video. This will be getting destroyed afterwards, whatever I build, which is going to be pretty awful, I can guarantee it. But yeah, right, so you want to build a base. Now the first thing that you are going to need is wood. And I'm going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, how to get wood. First thing you need is a hatchet. You can pick that up in pretty much all loot spawns. You can find it in various different industrial loot spawns, and you can also very occasionally find it in the rubbish tip drops. You can find it in those, can't you? But once you've got that, you can put it in your secondary weapon shop. Oh, got a salute going on. And you just got to whack a tree. It's like whack-a-mole, but with a tree. Boom, there goes the tree. Sorry, Yip, I think I just decked him.
That's right, it must be.
Okay, and you... Oh, no, I've got too much crap in my inventory. Let's just, let's pop it in here. I've got my vehicle here, so I can put all my stuff in my vehicle. That's probably something that you'll want as well. Let's put my cinder blocks in there. We've got loads of those. Right. And we're going to pick up those wooden logs. Now, once you've picked up your wooden logs, you use that by pressing I and then right-clicking on the logs into your inventory. Make sure you've got enough space. Oh, there's Yip. You can go back into your inventory and let's take a look at those logs. We've got 4 wooden logs here and we can double left click on them. And there's a number of things that you can build. You can build lumber packs, and it'll tell you how much materials you require in the menu there. You can see we need 2 wooden logs in order to make a fireplace, and we also need 2 to make our lumber pack. First thing I'm going to make is the fireplace. Boop, we've crafted 1, and we're also going to craft a lumber pack because we can. I examined it. I did the wrong thing. There we go. Click on that and craft. You can also select the quantity that you want. And we've crafted 1 lumber pack. Over here, I'm just going to put my fire down, and I'll show you how you can do that. We've got our fireplace. We double click on that, select build, and there it is. So, and press 1 to drop the object. There we go. Build mode is now disabled, and I can light the fire. It's beautiful. Got any marshmallows yet?
Oh, I'm going to find some.
Right, so you've got your fire. There are various things we're going to need that fire for in a little while. But in order to build a stable and safe base, there is a particular material that you need, which I think I've got on me. There it is. We need buckets of mortar. Again, you can find these in various different loot drops. And also on some of the... am I right in thinking that some of the missions that you're doing at the moment, Yip, you can find various building materials like buckets of mortar in your loot drops?
Yeah, I also take the liberty to add extra items to some of the missions as well.
Ah, that's good, that's good. That's what I like to hear. Right, so, with your buckets of mortar, we can double-click on them in a similar way to what we did with the wood, and you can see there's 2 options here. We've got the foundation or the cinder block wall. Let's take a look at the foundation. You are going to need 4 buckets of mortar in order to make a single foundation, and you can have 2 buckets of mortar with 4 cinder blocks to make a half cinder wall. We're actually going to make 2 foundations here, so let's do that now. I've changed the quantity to 2 and selected craft. There we go, crafted 2 foundations. And here's what we need them for. We need them so we can build a flat base. And in a similar way to what we did before, when placing the fire, we're going to double left click on the foundation and select build. Now you can see I have got this kind of placeholder thing here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select a nice place to build it. Let's look around me. That looks relatively flat. Yeah, right about there will do the job. Now the reason I'm looking for somewhere relatively flat is because this will allow me to get vehicles in. Are you meditating over the fire?
Just chilling, man.
And then you click 1 in order to build the item. You can see there is a little timer going down on the item there. And what that's going to do is when that reaches 0, the item will be real and ready for the world. And this is particularly important with other items. It's not so important with these because these are what I would call a placeholder item. You can walk through them while they're in the building process. But this isn't true of all items. And maybe if things go wrong, I'm going to show you what happens with some of the other items. Okay, there we go. It's now a real item. We can't walk through it anymore. And we are now going to build another item. So we're going to build a second foundation. Now, if I run over here a little bit, you can see we've got something called snap build enabled at the moment. And what that's done is it is actually giving us a placement that would be useful. So let's build this. There we go, by selecting one again. And what we've actually done is this has got a perfect space in between this block and this block that we can actually lay another floor. Now while that's finishing off building, I need to cut down another couple of trees. So let's do a bit of that. Let's see if this one will do the job for us. There we go. Now every tree that you cut down is going to give you 4 wooden logs. And we're going to need a few of these, as we're going to need 3 floors shortly. We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen, it's happening. I think I'll just need 1 or 2 more and then we'll have enough to do what we need to do. Again, nice simple process. Just hack the tree down and pick the logs up. And you need 2 logs to make a single lumber pack, which is what we're going to need several of for the next stage of building. Alright, I'm full, so what we're going to do is we're going to double select on the logs. And now what you can do in this particular section is I could select a quantity of 10. We can't actually build that many, but there it is. We've crafted 7 lumber packs, so it crafts the maximum number that you can. Now that we have our 7 lumber packs, I think we have actually got 8 because I built another one, you can take a look at the lumber packs themselves. Here they are. So let's double click on them and see what you can build. You could build a wooden stud wall, a wooden floor, wooden stairs, a wooden ramp, or a teepee kit. Now, most of these just require wood. Here you go, you can see here. They need 4 for the wooden stud wall, the wooden floor, the stairs also need 4, but the ramp needs 6. However, if you take a look over here, the teepee kit does need scrap pelts. Now you can get those by killing goats or pigs, or I believe you can also get them off the, what are they called, sappers, which are one of the enemies in game. Is that right, Yip?
That's correct, yeah.
There he is. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to build 2 wooden floors, because that's all we've got enough for right now. There we go. Now here we go, here comes the fun bit. These wooden floors, if I double click and select build, these are affected by physics. So one of the things that I always suggest that people do when they're playing around with these is you've got the home and the end buttons on your keyboard. It moves it closer and it moves it further away. I would suggest using the home button to move it as far away from you as possible. Otherwise, some terrible things can happen. I might show you that in a few minutes. And you use page up and page down to move these items down. And you can see it will snap into place. Oop, there we go, that's snapped into place now. So we're going to select 1 and it will drop into position. Now this is affected by world physics. So if you didn't have your foundation there, it would drop onto the floor. When that timer is down, it will no longer be affected by world physics. So we could, if we chose to, remove the foundation. I'm not sure really why you'd want to. Can you think of any viable reason that you'd want to remove those foundations?
Not really, not unless you wanted to build something underneath afterwards.
That's a possibility. Now, one thing that I did, we recently had a server restart yet, and one thing that I did prior to the server restart, which was pretty foolish, is I was building on some foundations, building some walls up, I think, at the edges of foundations. And underneath the foundations, because there was a fairly large gap, I had some cars parked. Because these items are linked to real-world physics, even in that placeholder state, there are some pretty severe issues that can happen. I blew up one car, which set off a chain reaction and killed, I think, another 3 cars which were parked under there, which was pretty unpleasant. Now, one other thing that I've noticed is, if I was now to try and, here we go, place this here, it can have some issues when you're trying to place the next one. So always place them on the furthest sections first. There we go, that's now going in. I think I'm going to need another 8 lumber packs, so I apologise, I'm going to have to cut some more trees down. But we're getting there. We are actually getting to that point where we can build a nice base now. And the reason we're going to need 8 more lumber packs is because I actually want 2 more wooden floors. So that's going to give us 4. 6, and last ones now. So let's pick up all these wooden logs that we've just cut. You can see this can be quite a time-consuming process. Particularly difficult is the looting. If you were to actually loot all the items that you needed for a base manually, it could be quite challenging. But you do get there in the end, and if you've got a particularly good hiding place for a vehicle, or perhaps a lockbox that you found along the way. Okay, let's just build as many lumber packs as we can. And let's take that last wooden log and turn that into a lumber pack also. Oh, did the wrong thing. Lumber pack. Craft. And we're going to build 2 more wooden floors. Now the reason that we want 2 is because we want a way that we can put a vehicle into our base. Now we wouldn't be able to do that right now because you can see it's above floor level. See Yips inspecting my terrible work. What do you think, Yip? Could I be a builder?
I think you'd pass so far.
Right, here we go. Let's move that up. And we need to slot this in between. Oh, there you go. It's trying. And you can see it's wibbly wobbling. You've got to be very careful about that, but we're going to try and put it in anyway and see what happens. There you go. It stopped wibbly wobbling. We're okay. Now, were I to select another one of these wooden floors and start using it to build, one thing that can happen while that timer is going on, it's affected by world physics. So were I to bump it with my wooden floor, terrible things could happen. Including it being knocked out of the way, it spinning away, it knocking into me. Now one other thing that can happen is, here we go, terrible things can happen. Okay, Yip, you're probably going to have to teleport me back to you after I've respawned here, but this is a very, very bad danger. If you haven't pressed the home button and move this as far away as possible from you, you can levitate yourself accidentally. What do you think, Yip? How's the magic carpet ride going?
Magic carpet, yeah.
Oh, here we go, I'm falling. I'm coming back down to earth with a bang.
Splat.
Oh, it landed on me as well. I love it. Right, I'm just going to respawn myself now. It's going to take a few seconds. Would you mind terribly teleporting me back to you?
Oh, it's tempting to leave you where you are, actually.
Oh, I can imagine. Just got 2 seconds. Here we go. Right. I have been reborn. Let's just go to the central spawn point. And I'm back. Right. Now, that was somewhat disastrous, as you can imagine, and you really don't want that to happen, particularly if you're doing a solo build. One thing that you do need in order to build is energy. How do you get energy? You actually get it by getting into a vehicle, getting into the driver's seat, and just having it on. There we go. You can also consume energy packs in order to do this, but I wouldn't recommend doing that because they actually go into something called a multicam, which is very, very useful. Now we're just going to get a bit of energy together, maybe 15 or so energy. And that'll do me for the moment. There we go, get out of the truck now. Here I am, naked as the day is long. Okay, so this particular item is now on the floor. It's not where we want it. So if we select 1 to go to build mode, snap alignment, and then look at the item that we want to move and press the spacebar, you will see a little roundel going down, and that's going to allow us to pick this object back up. Boop. There we go, we've picked it up, and what we're going to do is we're going to move it up. We're going to press the home button to move it as far away from us as possible. Whoop. Oh, stupid thing. We've got to pick that back up. Oh, I ran out of energy. That was the problem that we had there, Yip. I ran out of energy.
There happens to be an energy pack here.
Oh, that's extremely useful. That's fantastic. Let's take a look. Oh, look, it's just at your feet. Don't know how that arrived. but that's extremely useful. So what you can
That's
do
miraculous.
with this energy pack is you can double left click on it and select use. And that's just given us 1000 energy, which is a fair amount of energy. Right, so now let's go back into build mode. Build mode? I don't know what build mode is, but I like it. Can't pick my item up. Oh, there we go. I'm picking it up now. We're now going to have to pick it up again. It does give you 1000 energy, so if you've got a surplus of those particular items, it might be worth consuming one. Oh, there we go. That's now in the correct place. So let's select 1. You can see that was affected by real-world physics, and it hasn't quite gone where we wanted it to, but that's going to be close enough. That's going to do what we need it to do, I think, isn't it, Yip?
Yeah. No big gap.
No big gaps, no. And the reason I want this to be like that is so I can drive a vehicle onto it and move the vehicle into my base. That's one of the reasons that you're going to want a base in the first place, is to keep your vehicle safe. I think I'll just put my stuff back on. Get my hatchet, this, and my bandana. We've got to have a bandana. We've got to look good, man.
Is this a base or a jetty? If it's a jetty, it's a bit too dry.
Hey, man. I'm doing the best I can. Right, now, in my pack here, I have various other items. I've got 9 metal scraps. And what we want to do with these is, I'm going to show you in a bit. I'm going to use something that I've already got in my van here, which is, I've got a couple of stud walls. So here we go. With our stud walls, now that this is no longer affected by real-world physics, I can select I, and I can build my stud walls. These also require 4 lumber packs. Now you can see that is now ready to be built, so we're going to select 1, and it just drops into position and does its thing. This is where we're going to learn how to upgrade walls. Nice. See, that stud wall is going to be pretty easy to get through. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put something on the outside of this wall. In order to do that, we need this fire that we made earlier. If we select I, and go to our metal scraps, you can see we can have salvage metal. You need 2 metal scraps in order to make salvage metal small. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to build as many as we possibly can using these. Boop, there we go, and we crafted 4 of them. This item is now down, so it's ready to receive. If you know what I mean. What we're going to do is we're going to run up to the wall, put our face right inside it, and press Control and I. And that gives us the option to upgrade the wall. And there we have it. We've put our small scrap metal onto the wall, and the outside is now safe. Pretty cool, huh? But now, let's have a think about what else we need to do in order to... We're going to need a door. In order to keep our vehicle safe, we're going to want a door. In my vehicle, I also have some more items, which is nice. We're going to need those cinder blocks. We've got 4 cinder blocks there, and we've got 3 buckets of mortar. That's going to be enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to select I again. We're going to double click on the cinder blocks, and we can make a cinder half wall here. We're going to craft it, and we have crafted it. And we're actually going to put it right across this door in a moment. Whoop, if I can... Here. There you go, it's ready for it, and it's now placed down. It's doing its thing. We're going to need to upgrade that a couple of times now. One thing that I may have forgotten is I think I might need electronic components in order to make a proper door. There we are. Now, I can't remember exactly what we needed for our upgrade. I do know we needed at least 1 bucket of mortar. Ooh. What did I just pick up? I think we might need 2 buckets of mortar. There we go, we've got 2, and I think we also needed a further 2 cinder blocks. I'm probably wrong about the amount here, but I'll find out shortly. So let's go Control I on the wall. It can take a couple of moments to recognise that it's ready for the upgrade, so do keep trying if it doesn't do it on the first moment. Come on, wall. Maybe I need to be around the other side. That could be difficult. Let's try it from here. Oh, there we go. We've got the upgrade option. And we've selected upgrade. Let's see what that actually took. Oh, it took 2 cinder blocks and 1 bucket of mortar It can take about 20 or 30 seconds to register with a world, can't it? So once that's done, we're going to try and upgrade this again. And let's see what it needs in order to upgrade. It needs one salvage metal large and one electronic component. So, we already have some small salvage metal. Let's see how many we need in order to make a large one. We need 3, which is exactly what we have. So let's do that. We now have the large salvage metal required in order to create the door instead of that cinder block wall. But I'm not sure if we've got any electronic components. Let's go and look in the van. Oh, I have been remiss. We haven't got any.
Oh, looks like there's one at my feet here, look.
That's extremely fortunate.
It is, isn't it? Coincidence. Although I can't see it, it's there somewhere.
I'll press I and just see what happens. Oh, there it is. Right, now that we have the correct materials, we are going to go Control I and upgrade this wall. And we've got a beautiful door now. Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear the motors whirring? And we're going to open the door, which opens outwards instead, towards the direction that you built it in. Now, if you do this several times on your base, if you create a wall all the way around, you can then place these wooden floors that we made earlier on top, which is going to make your base secure. But what's to stop somebody coming along and doing exactly what I did earlier, which was moving the components out of the way in order for them to get in? There is something called, is it called a radio frequency jammer?
Yeah,
you can build?
Jammer,
a frequency jammer. Now, you will need one of those in your base. And in order to build that, I think you need some salvage metal and electronic components again, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
And these things you can place inside your base. It doesn't really matter where inside your base. But they are 2 stories high, or they're about 1.5 stories high. So you'll actually want a 2-story base in order to enclose the thing and make sure that it's safe from anybody destroying it. Let's just see if I have done my job well enough and I can move this into my base. This might go wrong because I'm very stupid. There we go. How are we lined up? Not too bad. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, and we're in. Now, had I got my frequency jammer behind, and I'd got 2 stories of walls, my vehicle would be 100% safe. There are certain explosives that can destroy wooden floors, however, at the moment. I believe, I know exploding cars can destroy these foundations and wooden floors as well, so do be aware of that. If you've got anything particularly valuable, try and build it further up in your building, and therefore it won't get lost. I think that's about all we need to show you today for building. We've shown you what can happen if you're not careful, and we've also shown you the very basics of building, what you need, including your hatchet, etc., and how you can refine materials into usable materials. Electronic components are also found as loot from both loot piles and various different loot objectives. So let's just move this out of the way. Because we're not going to be keeping this base. This isn't actually where we live. Yip just agreed to do me a bit of a favour so I could show you guys how to do a bit of building. Now it's out of the way. We'll lock it up. There we go. And at your leisure, if you would like to remove the base whenever you fancy. Oh, there it goes. It's all going. Now, I will be placing Yips server details. In fact, this is actually a good thing that you can see here. Those were no longer affected by real-world physics, so you can remove those blocks that were underneath your wooden floors. And that might be a way, if your base is high enough, if it's got a great enough incline here. Oh, I'm going to have to get off, otherwise Yip's going to kill me. If you've got a great enough incline, it may just be that any explosives that people place down won't affect your wooden floors. So that might be a way that you can protect yourself. Or potentially what you could do is you could build ramps on the outside so people can't get in underneath these sections. There's lots of different ways. The best way is concealment. If you can hide your base in a good area that other people aren't going to frequent, that is the best possible defense that you can have. I'm sure you'd agree with that, wouldn't you, Yip? Yep.
Yeah.
But there we are. That concludes our tutorial for the base building. Is there anything that you feel that I've missed, Yip?
No, I don't think so. Just to add that there is a lot more to the building than you've just shown. That's just the basic one, but it's endless. You could build
It is, yeah.
a massive base just on the same principles.
You really can, yeah. You can expand as much as you possibly want. I think the original base that we built was 9 by 9 blocks, and it was 2 or 3 stories high until I blew half of it up. But the bases can be useful in a variety of ways, because people can't get into your base if you have one of those locked doors that we showed you. You could build a flat-topped base and park your helicopter on the top, which means nobody would be able to steal it. You can build racks. Using the salvage metal that I showed you earlier, you can actually build racks to keep your equipment on. There are lock boxes. It's a really, really nice and good building system, aside from the fact that you can use pieces of wood as a magic carpet. But that might change at some point in the future. I noticed that your foundations, they currently have the kind of the invisible aspect to them. And if some of the other building materials were changed to be invisible during that initial building process, until you hit the 1 button to drop them, that might solve some of the problems that you're having with regards to magic carpeting and killing yourself. But we'll see what comes in the future. We're only on version, was it 0.2.5.2?
Oh yeah, it's still an alpha, really. Yeah.
Yeah, this is very much an alpha, and it's going to get more and more interesting as time goes by. I'm sure there'll be more building components, more interesting and different ways to build. So Arma 3 Epoch is one to watch. And if you want to join me in playing Arma 3 Epoch, do join me on Yips server. I'm going to be posting all the server details in the description below. I would love to see you on there. I apologise if I shoot you in the face, and I won't be angry with you if you shoot me in the face. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Goldica, and Yip, thank you so much for helping me out with that, Yip.
Oh, you're welcome. It was fun.
This is us out. If you like what you've seen today, please do like and subscribe.